everybody, this is Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report for you. 2,500 point battle. Lord Tremendous, that's me, of the Warriors of Chaos, versus DREADLORD, not the face of the Dark Elves, because, yeah, they're squishy. Not a whole lot here for you. It is the new Dark Elf book. That's pretty obvious at this point. I don't think anybody's using the old Dark Elf book anymore. But, yeah, it was a good game. And sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy it. Right here is my Alamo GT list, as I'm starting to annotate now. It's same old, same old. Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous, Mark Zinch, level 4 Wizard, Chaos Armor with Wings, Charm Shield, Dragonbane Gem, Other Trickster Shard, Demon Blade, Soul Feeder, Scaled Skin, and Lore of Metal. My heroes consisted of an Exalted Hero, Tardum, the Herald of Zinch. He's Mark Zinch, he's my BSB. He's on a Barded Demonic Mount. He's got a great weapon. He's got a Talisman of Preservation, the Poisonous Slime rule, and Third Eye Zinch, because it's awesome. My last hero is the Chaos Sorcerer Ashkus the Muse. He's Mark Slaanesh, level 2 Wizards, on a Steed of Slaanesh, the Slickness. He's got an Enchanted Shield, the Skull of Catan, a Luck Stone, the Ruby Ring of Ruin, and uses the Lore of Slaanesh, cause I like it. My core choices were 24 brick of Chaos Warriors, Mark Zinch with Hand Weapon Shield, Full Command, and the Banner of Eternal Flame. I had a unit of throwaway Chaos Warhounds, 5 of them with poison attacks. I had a unit of 5 Marauder Horsemen with Mark Slaanesh, Banner Musician, Spears, Shields, and Throwing Axes. And I had 2 Chariots, 1 Mark Zinch and 1 Mark Slaanesh. The Slaanesh one, of course, is Orcish Elegance, because, well, it's a wet hot mess, and I love it. My special choices were 5 Hellstriders, the Pleasure Riders, with Banner Musician, Spears, and Shields. I had my Chimera, Trifiction! with Poison and Regen, and of course my rare choice was the Mutalith Vortex. Yeah. My opponent's list, again, it's all done on like pieces of paper and stuff like that, and I didn't get the full list, but he played his Sissy Dark Elf list, and he had a Dreadlord, which was his general, and a Cold One with a Great Weapon, Armor of Destiny, Dawnstone, Sea Dragon Cloak, and possibly some other knickknacks, but let's face it, the 1-up rerollable, 4-up, whatever. It's a good kit, it just makes me sick to my stomach. He also had a Supreme Sorceress, who was a level 4 Wizard, Talisman of Preservation, and a Sacrificial Dagger. Possibly some other stuff, I'm not sure. He had a Death Hag, who was his BSB, on a Cauldron of Blood. I don't know if he gave her a magic weapon or not. It never really came into effect, and you'll see why later. But, yeah, I don't know if she had a magic weapon or not. And he had a Master with the Twilight Cloak, a Lance, and on a Dark Pegasus, because that is a murderous, murderous combo. And I think you're going to see that a lot in Dark Elf armies, with a Master with the Twilight Cloak, with the Lance on a Dark Pegasus, because it just murders everything. He also had a unit of 28 Witch Elves with Banner Musician and the Razor Standard. He had a unit of 14 Bleak Swords with Musician. And he had a unit of 15 Corsairs with Musician Banner and a Banner of Eternal Flame. And I believe they were kitted out with the Repeater Handbows. Yeah. You'll see why later, because yeah, he does some shenanigans, and it's actually kind of fun. Well, depending on what side of the table you're on. He had a unit of 20 Executioners with Banner Musician. I think they had a magic banner. I don't know which one. 9 by Cold Ones with Full Command, Lances, and the Banner of Swiftness. And he had 3 Reaper Bolt Throwers. Yeah, and he had the old school ones, like the Gothic magazine fed one or whatever. It's kind of cool. These here are my spells: 4 from Metal, 2 from Slaanesh, and 1 Fireball from the Ruby Ring of Ruin. The Mutalist spell is not shown. These are his spells: 4 from the Lore of Dark Magic, because, well, it's dark magic, it's really good. Here's deployment. Yeah, pretty much he just racked up his center and forward march. Yeah, it wasn't anything overly spectacular. He's not shy with his elves. He had his 3 bolt throwers watching their back, and he was going to march them forward. I, in the meantime, deployed like I was going to go first with my exposed fast cav on each side. Yeah, and everything else was pretty much right in the middle doing the same thing, because, hey, if they want to meet in combat, I will meet them in combat. Here's his center. Right there on our left is his unit executioners. Right behind them is his supreme sorceress and a unit of 14 bleak swords. The hill behind them there has 2 of his bolt throwers on it. That big nasty unit in front has got all of his witch elves with the cauldron and the death hag on top. And then right there to the right are his unit of 9 Cold One Riders with, what's it called? His Dreadlord General over to the right. Here's his left flank. Right there in the left there is his Corsair unit with the repeater handbows. There's his Blood Rack Medusa, which I forgot to mention in his list. She's kind of hidden behind the Stegodon skull, and you know that's good because she's ugly. And then on the right there is his last repeater bolt thrower. Over here is my right flank. There's my Marauder Horseman vanguarding up. There's my Chimera. He is farther than 6 inches away. I have learned my lesson. There's my dogs right in front of my Mutolith Vortex. Yeah, they're in the forest just in case the shooting gets a little ridiculous. Here's my center. There's the BSB on the right there with the Slaanesh Chariot right next to him. My unit of warriors in the middle with the Tzeentch Chariot watching them, and my Demon Prince just kind of in the middle, daring something to get close. And there's my left flank, Ashikis and his unit of Hellstriders moving up the left there to try to get a hold of those bolt throwers before they do some damage. Here's top of turn 1 after movement. As you can see, I did not get to go first. I rolled a 1 again for see who goes first, and with him, he actually got the +1, so yeah, it was, even if he rolled a 1, he was going first. So yeah, once again, I deploy like I'm going first, and it bites me in the rear. But you know what'll happen? The minute I don't do that, the minute I deploy like I'm going to go second, I'll go first and get SOL'd. So yeah, it is what it is. And you actually see some aggression from the elves. They move up. I was a little shocked. The executioners don't. Everything else does, but the executioners and the bleak swords stick around. So I think he maybe held them back in case my Hellstriders were going after his what's it called? His Supreme Sorcerer's unit, but that was never my intent. I was going after the bolt throwers. He gets Word of Pain off on my Hellstriders, and while it itself doesn't do any aggressive damage, it is a hex, and he rolled doubles. So he does 2d6 strength 1 hits, and was actually able to kill one of the Hellstriders, which was a little embarrassing, won't lie. However, he got that spell off with Irresistible Force, and ended up hurting herself a little bit, and ended his magic phase. So that was cool. You know, I lost the Hellstrider, he took a wound on his Sorceress. Fair is fair, I guess. Right here during his shooting phase, or as I like to call it, the Elven's second magic phase. It was concentrated shooting, actually, this time, and he ended up killing all 5 of my Hellstriders, which really sucked. Or not my Hellstriders, my Marauder Horsemen. Either way, I was, I guess, more grateful that I didn't lose more, but it was still a little frustrating. That going second thing on the bottom half of the phase really hurts my strategy, what little strategy I have. So we go into bottom of 1 after movement. Yeah, there's no charges or anything like that. My Mutolith moves up so we can get his spell off on either the Corsairs or the Cold Ones. The Hellstriders zip around to get a charge on that stupid bolt thrower, the black one over there, next turn. The Demon Prince moves up behind the rock and gets ready to charge whatever foolish enough to show me a flank. While I didn't really move with the Warriors of the Tzeentch Chariot. There was really no need. The Slaanesh and the BSB, they just kind of shifted over a little bit, while the Chimera and the Mutolith just kind of gave up on the right flank and waited to see where those Cold One Riders and the Corsairs were going. Because in my head, if I could get a hold of those Corsairs with the Mutolith and the Chimera, they were mine. But I've been wrong before. And just so that he couldn't, charge my Mutolith on his turn, I threw the dogs right in front of him and angled them such that if he did hit the dogs, even if he didn't move, my Chimera and my Mutolith are going to slam into him and eat his lunch. So during my magic phase, I roll for my power dice, and then I roll for, channeling for Tzeentch, my Demon Prince, and he didn't channel, so I rolled the Skull of Catan. And out of 6 dice, I roll 5 ones. Never happened before, so I decided to take a picture of it, because the Skull of Catan is apparently talking trash. And yeah, 5 1, so my Level 2 Sorcerer Ashicus is now Leadership 3 in the bottom of 1. So, yeah, guess who's not using the skull anymore this game? But yeah, it was significant. Over here in the magic phase, not to be deterred, the Mutalith irresistible forces through his spell on the Cold One Riders and makes them stupid for the rest of the game. Whoop-de-doo. But they end up having to take 6 toughness checks, and he fails 4. Let's hear it for the beast, huh? Always providing, always doing his part. 4 Cold One Riders down, basically half the strength of the unit. Oh, I was happy. So happy. And then with my last set of dice, the Demon Prince fires off Final Transmutation on the Witch Elves. It goes off, and I kill 11 of them. That's right, 11 Witch Elves became golden trophies for Kane. Eat it, Kane. But I was not able to roll a 6 for the Cauldron or the Death Hag, so oh well. And there's what the unit looks like after all the statues get removed. Not to mention the 12-inch bubble of stupidity that's now jeopardizing his army. So I felt pretty good about that one. Here's top of 2 after movement. And like I said, not a whole... Well, I shouldn't say it like that. His Corsairs ended up charging into the flank of my dogs. The Cold One said no. The Witch Elves passed their frenzy check. And everything just kind of angled over looking at the Demon Prince, trying to figure out where he was going to go. Meanwhile, the dogs get the Corsairs caught into him, and his Supreme Sorceress and her unit turn to face the Hellstriders. And yeah, that's really about it. It was a good move on his part because he didn't... I think he still thought I was going to try to flank charge his Supreme Sorceress, which might not have been a terrible idea now that I think about it, but... I was really going after the bolt throwers, and when she angled in a way like that, I was kind of irritated. I wanted to kill the bolt throwers. I couldn't give a damn about his Supreme Sorceress. So, here's a better picture of the Corsairs slamming into the puppies. I thought it was rude, but we'll see. During his magic phase, he gets Doombolt off on Ashicus, and it's like 6 wounds or something like that, and of course, 2 get through. And Ashicus is dead, which is both frustrating and irritating, but what can you do? After that, his shooting is a wash, and his magic phase is pretty much over, so we go into combat, and his Corsairs flub. With the rerolls and everything, they flub pretty hardcore and only kill 2 of my dogs. My dogs fail to do anything back. I lose I lose by a butt ton, and they end up fleeing. But he neglects to pursue, which is probably smart. And the dogs get away at only losing 2 of their numbers, so it wasn't too bad. So we go to the bottom of 2, and as you can see, there has been some charges. Yeah, my Mutalith and my Demon Prince slam into his Cold Ones, and my Chimera was supposed to charge the Corsairs and stop them from being able to flank charge the Mutalith, because I really didn't think the Cold Ones are going to just flee like that. But I knew his Lord probably had the murderous kit out of, 1-up rerollable armor save, 4-up ward with a great weapon. But I figured with my Mutalith into the flank, I could start working on his unit, because they only have a 4-up armor save against him. And he's got a pretty decent save against their strength 4. So I was hoping the Mutalith would start whittling down the unit while the Demon Prince, distracts the Dreadlord, and I can beat him in combat res and then run him down. Meanwhile, I was hoping the Chimera would be able to roll an 8 on 3d6 and hit the Corsairs and hold them in place for a turn or 2, if not just wipe them out completely all by himself. But that was not the way it was supposed to be, I guess. So, yeah. Other than that, the Chariots repositioned to get ready to charge the Cold Ones or the Witch Elves or the Executioners or whoever's foolish enough to cross the center line there, and the BSB moves up to give his banner ability to the Mutalith, just in case. There's a better picture of the Demon Prince and the Mutalith getting ready to just bash the crap out of the Cold One Riders. There's Trifection. He looks sad. He looks ashamed, and he should, because he rolled really bad to make his charge. So he's in timeout. That's the Chimera in timeout, and that's where he belongs. Over here, the Mutalith once again gets his spell off, and he hits up the Executioners. I think he kills 3 or 4 of them. I'm not sure exactly, but he ups their attack value by 1 and lowers their strength value by 1, which I thought was a fair enough trade-off because now they're only strength 5, and I can deal with strength 5. And then we go into combat. And it didn't go quite as well as I had hoped. The Mutalith, he did take a wound prior to getting into this combat from leaving the forest. He took a dangerous terrain check, failed, and didn't regenerate it. So he already had a wound on him. A cold one was able to do a wound to him during the combat, and my Demon Prince took 2 wounds. He did one of the wounds to himself with the Demon Blade, to be honest. But he did 5 wounds to the Dreadlord, but rerollable 4s 3 times, and he made all of his saves. In fact, out of the 4 on his first roll, he made 4 out of his 5 armor saves, and then with the Dawnstone, he rerolled the one that he failed, and he made it no problem. So my Demon Prince took 2, my Mutalith took 1, but my Mutalith was able to take down 2 of his guys. So with 2 wounds and a charge and a flank, to 3 wounds and a banner, it was actually tied, but with his musician, he won combat by 1. Luckily, the Mutalith needed an 8 to stay with the BSB reroll, and life is good. They stick it out, but it could have gone better. It could have gone better. Here's top of 3 after movement, and the Dark Elves kind of come out of their shell a little bit. The Witch Elves opt not to charge the Demon Prince, and they pass their leadership to not charge him. However, his Death Hag comes out of the unit on the Cauldron. I don't understand what he was doing there. I asked him after the game why he did that, and he really didn't have an answer. I don't fully understand it, but I was fine with it. It looked great for me. But yeah, his Corsairs go into the Mutalith, his Executioners, and the Death Hag come up to deal with my Chariots and my Chaos Warriors, and his Psycho Elf on the Pegasus charges and makes his charge, needing a 9 into my Chimera. And at this point, as upset as I would be to lose Trifection, after failing that, charge needing an 8, sometimes you have to discipline them with death. It happens. It happens. So here's a closer look at the Corsairs slamming into the Mutalith. And right here during his magic wasn't all that impressive, so we went to shooting, and his Medusa targeted the dogs for some reason and killed 2 of them, which made him take a panic check, but on leadership 9 with a reroll, and they were fine. But she's a dog abuser, and I don't think I like that. So yeah, we go into combat, and I don't even know how to explain this in a cheerful way. My Demon Prince is actually able to slip a wound through past his incredible saves, and the wound that he ends up slipping through, he actually recovers with Soul Feeder later on in the combat, which is awesome, because when the Dreadlord and his Cold One go to hit my Demon Prince, he flubs his rolls, and since he's got a great weapon, he doesn't get to re-roll them. So yeah, the Demon Prince is able to take a wound off of him and recover one and not take anything for his troubles. The Corsairs slamming into the flank of my Mutalith, they actually got Frenzy from the Cauldron on them during his magic phase. And so it was 15 attacks, all at strength 3, but 15 attacks going into my Mutalith at, with the Banner of Eternal Flame, so he doesn't get his 5-up regen. And he flubs bad, and the few wounds he did get through, I armor saved all of them. So the Corsairs don't do anything. The Mutalith, on the other hand, kills 4 with his normal attacks and then kills 4 more with Thunderstomp for a total of 8. I win this combat by 5. And although the Corsairs are steadfast, the Cold One Riders and the Dreadlord are not. And they break, and the Demon Prince, who's able to pursue, runs them the F down. The Dreadlord is dead, and the Corsairs are mutilated by the Mutalith. Oh, gotta love the... Oh, I love the Mutalith. I really, really do. Over here, the Chimera is looking for some redemption and actually weathers the attacks. All the attacks from the what's it called? from the Psycho Elf, he's able to regen save, so he doesn't get his D3 wounds or anything like that. And the wound that the Chimera does receive comes from his steed, the Pegasus. And in return, the Chimera is able to put a wound onto him, and it's a I lose combat by 1, but with the Demon Prince where he is now, he's leadership 8 with a reroll because of where the BSB is, so the Chimera stays no problem. So here we go, bottom of 3 after movement, and I smell blood, so we go in. Both chariots slam into the cauldron with his BSB, and the idea here was an assassination mission. Kill his BSB. I didn't care about the cauldron. I didn't care about the chariots getting slammed into the flank by the executioners. That would have been great because then my warriors could have dealt with the executioners. My whole plan there was kill the BSB, and if everything goes great, both chariots can overrun into the Witch Elves, and with 2d6 plus 2 impact hits to the remaining Witch Elves, I should be able to vape them. So that would have been awesome. The BSB charges into the Corsairs to help out the Mutalith, and my Demon Prince charges the Bloodrack Medusa. And there was a twofold reason for that. Number one, she attacked my dogs, and I'm really not okay with that. My Demon Prince is a dog lover. Totally unacceptable that she tried to kill off all my dogs for no reason. And second, when the Demon Prince, and I say when the Demon Prince kills her and overruns, he's going to be able to hit the rear of that Pegasus, the Psycho Elf, and save the Chimera and kill off that unit, getting all those points. So it was a good charge. Meanwhile, the Warriors tried to charge the Executioners. They needed a 10, but they failed it, and they went forward like 2 or 3 inches. It wasn't much. There's a better picture of the BSB and the Mutalith teaming up to kill some elves, which is a beautiful thing. Here's a better picture of the Demon Prince getting ready to beat down the dog abuser. Yep, not tolerating it, not tolerating it. And there's a traffic jam of chariots into chariots, and all I can think of is him pulling that out of his Witch Elves unit was a mistake. And I'm going to capitalize on it. I have to. I need the points. And there's the picture of shame, the Warriors failing their charge. Although it was a really long charge, I still expect them to do some wind sprints after this game. And of course, my magic phase is pretty much unnecessary. I've got really nothing to cast. I'm in combat. I'm facing the wrong way. I've got a lot of direct damage and 5-up Scaly Skin, 12-inch range spells for lower metal. They're really just not coming into play. And the Mutalith didn't have anything in its forward arc that was within 18. So I skipped my magic phase. My shooting phase is dead. So we went into combat, and I didn't even bother taking a picture because the Demon Prince just wiped his butt and threw away the Medusa. And then overran into the Pegasus, which is exactly what I wanted to have happen. So I did that combat next, and as you can see, she's now dead, or the Psycho Elf is now dead, obliterated by the Demon Prince. And I don't even think we had to pursue. I think we just killed him outright, and we turned to face the rest of the battle to try to get back into this fight. Over here, the chariots, their impact hits alone. I was actually, you got to randomize, see where the impact hits go. I did 9 impact hits, and 6 of them ended up hitting the Death Hag, and 2 or 3 got through, but I only needed 2 to get through, and she died. I think I did 1, maybe 2 wounds to the Cauldron, took none in return, and was able to kill it, or was able to break it and run it down. The Slanesh Chariot makes it into the Witch Elves. The Tzeentch Chariot misses by about an inch. So that was a little discouraging. But the Cauldron died, and that's good enough for me. And there's a better picture of just how much I missed by. Maybe, the Tzeentch Chariot might have missed by 2 inches. I'm not real sure. But I would have preferred if both of them had made it into the Witches, because that would have been better. So I missed. I did not get a picture of it. I apologize for that. But during this combat phase, the Mutalith and the BSB are able to kill all but 4 of the Corsairs. They break, and the Mutalith tries to run him down. The BSB stays where he's at. And the Mutalith fails to run him down, but they're below 25% now because the banner guy dies. And so there's only 3 left, so he's below 25%. I know they're not going to rally. And I sent the Mutalith after him just to try to get closer. I was hoping he would roll high, or at least average, and get close enough that he could charge that bolt thrower next turn. Meanwhile, the BSB stuck around to turn and deal with the Witch Elves and the Bleak Swords, maybe even the Executioners, if whatever target presented itself the best. So yep, then we go over to turn 4, and his bleak swords charge the flank of my Zinch chariot, and I thought about fleeing with the Zinch chariot, but I thought, you know what? There's no way Strength 3 is going to be able to kill my chariot. He's going to break him in combat. They're probably going to get him run down, but this is my chance to kill his level 4 sorcerer because I know all she has is a 4-up ward. I only need to wound her a few times and hope that, I can get my wounds through, and so I stayed. And they easily made it. His executioners charged, and they failed their charge by quite a few inches, actually. So, yeah, the infantry just aren't feeling it today, I guess. A lot of failed charges. There's a better picture of the bleak sword slamming into the flank of my chariot, and as you can see, there's his little supreme sorceress going, "Why am I here? He's going to kill me!" There's his corsairs. They did not rally. They continue to flee, and although there's no picture of it, during his next turn, they fail to rally once again and flee off the table. There's a picture of the infantry not making the charge, which I'm perfectly fine with. And during his magic phase, he's able to get he's able to get Cloak of Despair off on his unit after sacrificing one or two bleak swords, which is what that unit is for, and makes it so that my chariots can't use my Demon Prince or my BSB. So while that sucks, I kind of expected as much. During his shooting phase, it's unfortunate, but the bolt throwers were able to kill the beast. I was not happy. The beast had done so much this game, it almost seems sacrilege that he died. But it is what it is. I can't turn back the clock, but if I could, I would bring him back. Right here, yeah, after the Mutalith died, once again, my BSB, for some unknown reason, with a re-rollable 8 or a 9, fails his panic check and flees. That's 2 games in a row against Elves, where my BSB was too close to something, and on a re-rollable 8 or a 9, he's fleeing. So yeah, me and Tardam are gonna have to sit down and talk about this whole panicking and running away garbage. I've just about had enough of that attitude, young man. So, yep, we go into combat, and it's exactly what I hoped would happen. I lose combat, but I am able to kill his sorceress, which is awesome. I was able to get exactly 2 wounds through, and she'd already taken one earlier, so there goes his magic phase. He no longer has a level 4, but I do, so that was cool. I was very happy about that. However, when I got broke and I ran 3 inches, so he caught me no problem and slammed into the Slaanesh chariot right in the flank. And while I knew that was going to happen, the chariots had really already made up their points with the BSB, Cauldron, and Sorceress dead. Losing the chariots, while it sucked, they had made their points back, so I wasn't entirely upset about it. During combat, however, the Slaanesh chariot with impact hits and just wounds, because the Witch Elves are naked now, they don't have their ward save anymore. I do take a couple of wounds for my troubles, but I'm able to kill like 7 of the Witch Elves, and I win combat, but both units are steadfast and they stay. So we go into turn 4, bottom of turn 4 after movement, and as you can see, not a whole lot's changed. My Demon Prince moves up to go behind the skull of the Stegodon there. The Chimera moves up to try to deal with Bolt Thrower Hill. At this point, I'm like, well, you're either going to kill me or I'm going to kill you. But either way, I need to get into this. The BSB rallies, thank God, and the Warriors make it into the Executioners, which is awesome. So yeah, there it is right there. Finally, we get into combat. So, yep, I'm actually pretty confident about this one right here. And magic is a wash, so we go into combat. I think I skipped my magic phase, to be honest, because there's just nothing for me really to attack. And yeah, we get into this one, and he kills 2 of my guys. Believe it or not, he didn't bother moving the elves, but I kill 8, which I was very happy with. So the executioners are pretty much half strength now. They're pulverized pretty good. And they flee, and I run them down. So 1 less brick of elves on the planet, so Warhammer world just got a little bit better. And they overrun, and I get stuck on the impassable terrain. So, I got them. That's really all I care about. Over here, before my chariot could attack, their combined attacks were able to slip through 2 more wounds and kill my chariot, which sucks, but like I said, the chariots actually did really good this game, so I'm not going to complain. So here we go, top of 5 after movement, and as you can see, the elves kind of angled themselves to accept the Chimera, and the Bleak Sword's turn to deal with the warriors, and that's about it. Everything else is dead. His magic phase doesn't exist, so we go into his shooting phase, and his bolt throwers, both of them fire so perfectly into the Chimera, they actually shoot his tail off and kill him. Very, very disappointed, I won't lie. Didn't think that he would be able to get past my 4-up regen that easily, but yeah, I was really wrong. And the Chimera paid for it, which really sucked. So yeah. And then over here, God dang friggin' bolt throwers, man. I got no love for elven shooting. But yeah, I had 2 wounds left on my Demon Prince. He single bolts my Demon Prince with the 1 remaining bolt thrower. And the plan here was hide behind the Stegodon head, so he's only got 1 shot at my Demon Prince. And then if he hits, I've got a 5-up ward. If he hits and wounds, I've still got my 5-up ward. There's a chance. But nope, he hit with a 6. He wounded on a 5. And then I rolled like a 3 for my ward save. And he was able to do exactly 2 more wounds to the Demon Prince and kill him. So the Demon Prince dies. Son of a... Yep. I really wish I didn't have to play that music because, I was so disappointed that happened. So with a heavy heart, we go to I go to bottom of 5. My opponent is elated. And needless to say, my BSB fails his charge at the Witch Elves, and the Warriors turn to face the Bleak Swords, and that's all there is to do. I've got no other charges, or I've got no other magic because it's dead. I've got no shooting because it's dead. We got no combat. So we go to top of 6. And my opponent decides on just getting out of range. My warriors can charge the Witch Elves or the Bleak Swords. He can charge the BSB can charge the Bleak Swords. Can't see the Witch Elves, so and he relies on his shooting to do stuff. His shooting doesn't do anything, can't hurt me, so we go to the bottom of 6. And the warriors charge the witches, the BSB charges the Bleak Swords. I rolled like raw butt for both rolls. They all get away, and that's the end of the game. So nothing else happens after my Demon Prince dies. Just bottom of 4, and he pulls it away. So yeah, I still enjoyed the game. It's always fun killing elves, don't get me wrong, but I was so angry at myself for that lack of judgment. So disappointed. What a noob, stupid mistake that was on my part. But I paid for it, and so karma is neutralized once again, I guess. So yeah, it is what it is. Quick timeout. Banners. Get you some banners. There's no reason not to get you a banner. Look at the banners. These are amazing, amazing banners. And you want to know what? You could make your banners even better by just telling him what you want that's cooler than what I have. It's a hard thing to do, but I challenge you to try it. Send him an email. Throw him a line on Facebook. It doesn't hurt to ask the question. He will love it. You will love it. And in the end, everyone's happy. Give this guy an email. Hit him up on Facebook. Get yourself a banner. But yeah, in the end, after we totaled up points, and we totaled it up twice, it was a draw. 1927 for me to 1845 for him. Very close draw. I think it was 92 points between us, so very, very close game. Very good game. Hard fought until the end. My opponent never gave up, although deep down, I won't lie, I'd have been okay with him giving up. Especially around turn top of 4. So yeah. Turned around on me in the end there. Top of 5, I believe, is when I just realized how terrible I am at this game. So yeah, I ended up losing my Demon Prince. Ashicus, both my chariots. Although I don't fault the Chariots for that. The Chariots did great. They got my demon, or they got me the BSB. They got the Cauldron. They took a huge chunk out of the Witch Elves. If it wasn't for the Bleak Sword slamming into the flank of both of them, I have a feeling that that would have gone very different. So, they also got the Supreme Sorceress. So they made their points. I'm okay with that. My Marauder Horseman got gunned down. My Hellstriders got magic to death. The Chimera, I'm such an idiot. I got him killed. And then the Beast, the Beast, that's the one that hurts the worst in this game, because the Beast did so well. He killed the Corsairs. He helped kill the Cold Ones. He got his spell off on the Cold Ones. He got the spell off on the Executioners and made them strength 5 instead of 6. Granted, he gave him another attack, but still, the Beast was Beast. Oh! So, yeah, that one sucked. My opponent, the Dark Elves, they lost everything except for his 3 bolt throwers, some Witch Elves, and the Bleak Swords, and they were fleeing at the end of the game, so I don't count that as a victory. So there. Okay. No, it was a hard-fought draw, and it was good. I can't stand bolt throwers, mainly Elven ones. Goblin ones I don't really have this big of a problem with, but yeah, Elven ones, not thrilled with them at all. No, I mean, I know it's smart. I know the Elves need them. I know all that. I know I walked them right in front of them like an idiot. But that's what dumb people do. So, yeah. Just more racism towards elves is being built up in my heart. So I guess that's a win. I know I've already said it, but how about that Beast? I mean, this battle report alone should be enough that anybody who's on the fence about getting a Mutolith, this battle report should push you over that fence and land you right in the glorious lap of that which is the Mutolith Vortex. But it was a great game. It was a good game. Second draw in less than a week. I'm thinking that maybe I'm losing my touch a little bit, so I'm gonna have to step it up a little. But yeah, I'm hoping I'm just getting it all out of the way so that come the Alamo, I'm ready to just rock and stomp. But we'll see. But yeah, I really enjoyed playing the game. I'm looking forward to the rematch, and anytime you get to kill elves, it's going to be a good game. Even if you get massacred, if one elf dies, totally worth it. But yeah, that'll wrap up this battle report. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed playing it and making it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comments section, and I'll get back to you. I'm pretty good about replying. So yeah, thanks.